Well,
Yeah.
we were just warming up. Okay, I'm recording now. So, hello everybody, and welcome to Lollygaggers Podcast. I am Dave the Fox.
I am Tony the Goat.
And I'm Mike the Panda.
All right, so we've been kind of absent for a few weeks now, and I guess welcome back to it. We've kind of taken a little bit of a break.
Well, springtime's in the air.
Oh yeah, had to go out and
Kinda-
check out the flowers. I'm in Japan, so I had to check out the cherry blossoms, and they are quite lovely. So
I
anyway,
was outside checking out girls in like skirts,
oh yeah,
and
that too.
that was quite good too.
Oh yeah, that's implied.
You enjoy the cherry blossoms there, Dave.
That's
enjoy
implied.
the cherry blossoms all you want.
Hey, I'll enjoy
Okay.
both. So anyway,
Okay.
all right,
I got to shoot some guns.
sweet.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I think we got a winner over there. Anyway, I figured it'd be nice when we're coming back. We've been gone for a couple months now, I think. And I think it'd be nice to just do a quick catch up on what's been happening in our lives recently. So I've got pretty much nothing. How about you guys? What about Tony?
Well, I got a story about a space station up in space.
But
A
is that
space station?
is that a space station that you brought down?
No, apparently it's coming down the next few days.
Okay, so
We're
is that
actually,
a personal
being
lie from what you did in the past few months, Tony?
I
Because
guess
that was
I
the
missed
plan.
something.
We're doing personal stories, Tony.
Oh, personal stories. Okay, I was
Fucking goldfish.
watching.
You're now Tony the Goldfish. Congratulations, you've become Tony the Goldfish with a memory to match.
Where am I? This is some nice water. This is great.
Okay, so Mike, do you have any personal stories? Like what's been happening in the last few
Well,
months?
yes, David. I do.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Dave. Who's Mike?
Oh, he's just an imaginary friend. Here's
Oh,
something shiny.
okay.
Go play with it.
Oh, I see one over here.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I came downstairs and this kid was hanging out at my house on a day. He's normally not over there. He usually comes over on the weekends or during the afternoon, but not like, in the middle of the night. So my roommate Nathan's like, "Oh, do you mind if I'm gonna change some names? Do you mind if Bus stays over for a couple days?" I'm like, "Okay." It's kind of weird because he's like 17. A couple days pass by. Bus's parents come over to our house looking for him. Turns out he ran away. My roommate Gabe goes to the front door, starts talking to him. He's like, "Hey, Bus isn't here. He went to school." And then they say something disrespectful for him. I'm upstairs while it kind of got started, but I hear him start yelling, "Hey, get the F off my porch. Get the F out of here." He's just like yelling. So I go downstairs, check it out. He's yelling at these parents through the door. And then he's like, "If you don't F and leave, I'm going to rip your head off." And then they're like, "Okay, you threatened us, so we're going to call the police." So they walked off, but they're still in the front yard, and they call the cops. I walked out for a little bit to kind of see if I could cool things down a little bit. So I'm like, "Hey, sir, your kid was here for a little bit, but we don't know where he is right now. Can't get in contact with him." And the wife goes off on me, and she's like, "Are you guys in there dealing and stuff? Like, are you like selling dope, or do y'all do drugs and shit?" And I'm like, "No, I don't do drugs, man." And she's like, "Oh, I bet you don't think pot's a drug." And I'm like, "Oh, I do think pot's a drug, and I don't do it." And she's like, "Oh, well, your dad could lose his house if the cops find out what's going on over here." And I'm just like, "All right, I'm done talking to you."
Yeah.
So I go back inside and just wait for the cop to show up. Cop shows up, talks to them, comes inside, talks to us. We explain to him what's going on. He looks around to see if Bus is there, and then it's like, all right, well, sounds like you felt threatened, so it's not a big deal that you threatened them. So he goes back to outside and asks the parents to leave, and then like an hour later, Bus shows up at our house.
Oh
And then we
Jesus! I
tell
know
him,
what's coming right
and
now.
then we tell him what's going on, and he's like, "Well, I was gonna talk to my parents probably like today or tomorrow, but now I don't want to go home again ever."
Wow.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Parenting in
So actually,
society.
yeah, they actually took off a day to come bitch at you. Is pretty much what they did. It was like, yeah, we haven't taken a vacation together in a long time. Let's go on over to these people's houses and just be a bunch of a-holes. Is that pretty much what their whole deal was?
Right. Well, it seems
Um,
like now I'm only judging from the story, which is completely skewed because A, they were upset that their kid ran away. B, they're
Yeah.
talking to complete strangers. C, they just been threatened.
right. I
of
didn't
course.
really take it all too personal because
Right.
I did, the mom was fairly upset, so
Right.
I was just like, all right, she's too upset to be talking to right now.
Right. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
well,
that's
yeah.
you want to take a step back there, but now my whole question is, why is the kid running away? And that should probably, honestly, that should be the question they're asking themselves real quick.
Yes. Why did your kid leave your house that was secure? He had a bedroom and place to eat and all that stuff, and decide to be like, I'm tired of your crap. I'm leaving.
Yep. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's the age where that stuff happens. He's a young man. I don't know how alpha he is, but he's 17. That's when all those ideas start creeping into your head. So, I mean, I get it.
Well, I must be advanced because I tried to run away home when I was shit about 9 or 10. And this is how I did it. Is I got a Tupperware container, put all my blankets and pillows and some clothes in it, and started pushing it up and down the street. Be like, can I stay at your house? Okay. Damn it. And then it was the next house. Can I stay at your house? No. Damn it. I did it for a whole day, and no one would let me stay at their house for some odd goddamn reason because I'm 9.
Oh man, there are no pedophiles in my town.
Damn it. So, but the whole day I pushed this thing around, and I swear to God, the Tupperware container was getting all scratched out the bottom, where it couldn't even support anything more because it scraped it all to hell. I went home, just all pissed off. I'm like, guess I'm not running away. God dang it.
Well,
I couldn't swear at that point.
On the positive side, there are no molesters in your town.
Well,
I mean, that's a 9-year-old boy all day by himself with a Tupperware container.
But now that I'm my age right now, my parents had me watching the living room window going like, this is fucking hilarious, actually.
Probably.
Oh, he's seriously going to the next house? Really? All right, let's see how this goes. Oh, he's being pretty kosher and pretty. Oh, they're saying no, so he's pushing his fucking Tupperware to the next house.
If they were watching you, they're probably calling every house down the road that you were going to. Just like, hey, our boy's coming to your place. Tupperware container. Just tell him no.
Yeah, if you have to see like it's not pizza delivery boy with pizzas. It's our kid, and he's trying to run away.
Right.
I mean, if he was smart, he would have waited till he was like 16 and had a car, but nope, he's 9 and shit.
So,
sorry,
anyway.
bro.
All right, so that is an interesting story, and honestly, good job for the police officer. Didn't escalate anything. Just like, you know what, nice and level-headed about it. There's so many police stories.
I also think that woman outside was going like, blah blah this, blah blah this. I mean, the first thing it says like, you guys are a bunch of drug dealers and shit. I'm like, wow. AKA, what a bitch. That's what I was said right away. I was like, you're kind of a bitch. I mean, did she have resting bitch face syndrome, or was she just like
her son ran away from
like
home?
Her eyes were pretty red. Like it looked like
she
really?
Was
crying. Yeah.
So
she was very upset.
Oh, so she had like chupacabra syndrome going on there? like she's gonna bite your face off.
Sure.
It's like, I'm a female chupacabra. Don't fuck with me. And you know, Dave.
She's probably just thinking we're a bunch of dealers and we're trying to corrupt her son, so she's got to run over and try and save her baby.
Right. The funny part is Mike is probably the most straight, I guess, fella you could find. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He barely drinks anything with sugar in it. It's like,
the 7-Up has sugar in it. You guys changed the recipe. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't drink pop.
See, sugar's bad for you.
Well, that's a drug, Mike. Better lay off that crap.
I don't have a problem with drugs. It's just I don't do them.
Right.
Yeah. I get you, and like I said, it's like Dave said too. Is like I would, if I ever like heard you come back out here on Discord or whatever during the podcast, be like, yeah, I did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I'm like, no, you didn't. You're lying. It's just like no. It's just you couldn't do that. So, even your story kind of shocked me a little bit. You know what? You could have had a better story if you threw a tomahawk at her. That'd been awesome.
That would probably be assault.
At that point, it would a little more astute. I was trying to give a compliment. Tony, now here's what's happening. Okay. I was trying to give a compliment to the police officer, saying how not all of them are bad, and this is an example of finally a good police officer doing a good thing, and people are hearing about it. And here you're turning it into a weird fucking joke about this lady crying. Like, that's the weird part. You're weirding me out now. Yeah. Weighs heavy on the conscience, I guess. Anyway. Okay. All right. So, Tony, do you have any personal stories from your realm these last couple months?
Yeah, I have a few.
Well, go ahead and give us a couple of the top ones.
Well, I just have two, and they're pretty much the top ones. So, basically, this is what happens. I had to go my tooth pulled, and there's some complications and stuff, and then finally got my tooth pulled. But, so I don't eat sweets that much, which I said before. So I decided to get myself some Butterfinger ice cream. I'm like, this would be a pretty good treat, and put up my gum and whatever, and this ice cream could, soothe a pulling tooth. And so I get it, and the good old wifey gets another, of her ice cream that she wants. Well, she eats all of her ice cream. Just the whole night, she's like, "Oh, this is a great dinner." I'm like, "This is dinner? Shit, I'm screwed. I'm gonna be hungry." Anyways, so I eat about half of it. I'm like, "Okay, cool." Went over to eat a salad and cooked up pork loin and all other stuff. Okay, so I went to bed. Next day, I go out on the road. She got home earlier than I did, and like, it'd be really good right now, some Butterfinger ice cream. So I go to the fridge, kind of pick it on up. As I'm grabbing the container, the wifey there tells me, "I had some of your Butterfinger ice cream." Well, okay. I guess some is a relevant term compared to all, but she systematically had enough time to pick out all the good Butterfinger bits out of the ice cream, eat them, and leave me with just vanilla ice cream. About 2 or 3 scoops. And she goes, I had some of your Butterfinger. I'm like, some? Okay, so I had my 2 scoops. I'm like, you eat all my Butterfinger ice cream. She's like, "I did not. I left you some." I'm like, "No, I think what I had left was vanilla ice cream. You ate all the Butterfinger ice cream." And it kind of left me with, other. Right. Fine. I'm sorry.
That's almost worse than just eating all of it. Like, you might as well just eat the whole thing and leaving with none. That's fine.
Right.
You're not expecting it. You're like, "Oh no, you ate all my ice cream. Oh no." But this is like,
Yeah.
no, you got some ice cream, dick. Here you go. Eat what I left you.
You got the blubber lard. There you go. Snort it, fucker.
That's right. You fucking go.
So-
It's like, oh, you know, I didn't eat all of your hamburger. I just ate the patty and the cheese and the lettuce.
And I left you the bun.
There you
Here's
go.
the bun.
Eat it up, fucker.
Yeah. So
And you will eat it too, won't
she
you?
made this. So basically, this is what happens. Like, okay, I'm like, well, she was like, well, I guess I'll owe you some Butterfinger ice cream. I'll buy it for you. And even today, I found out today, unbeknownst to me, they have discontinued Butterfinger ice cream. For some odd reason, it was so delicious. It was great to the most. But I went to Super One, no, it's Walmart, and she said, I'm going to get you some Butterfinger ice cream, and I'm going to replace it. Like, okay. And so, like I told you guys before, I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but when I do want some candy, I kind of pick something out just for myself. Like, even for instance, I have 2 Kit Kat bars in the freezer being frozen because that's the way I like them. But I picked up some Reese's peanut butter cups. I think that's what they're called, and I love them frozen. But I have to have them frozen. That's the way I like it. So go there, and she's like, "Can I have some of your ice cream?" And I'm like, "No, you may not. You may not have any of my ice cream right now." 10 times after she asked, I finally caved to him. It's like, you know what? You can have some of it. Even with this, like, you're not a very good sharer, are you? You don't share a lot, do you? I'm like, you call my ice cream, and then you said you're gonna replace my ice cream for all the stuff that you took. I'm like, you know what? Fine, you can have half of it, maybe. Or and she like got a little bit started. I'm like, you know what? No, you can't eat it now. She all huffy puffy. Fine. I'm sitting here playing Fortnite, and I hear the freezer door open. I'm like, leave my ice cream alone. She goes like, no problem, I will. So she takes the Reese's peanut butter cups and eats them. And I looked at her. I'm like, did you just eat my Reese's peanut butter cups? She's like, I thought you bought them for me. No, this was a straight, just freaking denial. It's like, I thought you got them for me. It's like, you couldn't even save one for me? What happened to the sharing shit? Like, what's going on?
Well,
She's
that's
like,
the
well, you're not a
pistol.
very good sharer.
That's a smoking pistol right there. It's like, you're not a very good sharer, are you? Well, I would share, but you steal everything, so I can't.
Right. So I'm like, you know what? This is getting out of hand. I'm like, she's like, well, fine. Shit you not. 10 minutes later, she's like, can I have some of the Butterfinger ice cream? I'm like, I don't fucking care. Have it all. I really don't care at this point.
She wore you
You know
down.
what she did? She ate all the, no, she ate all the fucking ice cream. I think at this point of spite. And this is the whole reason why I'm like, why don't you eat some of the Kit Kats? I don't like Kit Kats. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? All I had to do was buy Kit Kat ice cream or just Kit Kats in general, and I'd be okay. She was like, well, yeah, everyone likes Reese's peanut butter cups. I'm like, I hate you. I really hate you.
Well,
I'm like, really?
Now you know. Now you know. That's how you find out.
Well, see, thing is, too, I'm going to go to the next story right now, and Mike, you haven't heard nothing. Well, you kind of did, actually.
That's fine.
So yesterday, actually, this all happened in 2 days. Yesterday, and I'd say Thursday and Friday. This is when this story happened. It came down where I was at the bank getting a loan for a wedding because I guess weddings cost money now. Unbeknownst to me. So I'm like, okay, talking to the baker, I'm like, I want such and such amount, and I want such a, okay, well, we could we could do that. And I get this weird phone call from Shannon. She's like, what kind of motor do I have in the Jeep? I'm like, 4.0 6-cylinder. I'm like, okay. She hangs up. I'm like, that's a very odd call coming from Shannon asking about motors.
Uh-huh.
I didn't really think about too much. I'm like, because she's kind of quirky, and that's what I like about her. And that's why I love her. She's quirky. So take care of all that, sign some paperwork. We're gonna go out on Monday, get the loan money, get deposit in the account, all our stuff. Then I come home and I get hit with the news. Dear, I'm selling the Jeep. I'm like, everyone else would be like, okay, that's great. So basically, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I was gonna buy a Ford Taurus SHO, and we're gonna chain the Jeep and my Ford Fusion as a trade-in balance to cover the balance with the payoff and all our stuff. And it came down to, we just honestly at that point, it was a mileage thing where I didn't want it because it wasn't going to make as much mileage and I drive a lot, so it didn't make sense. So in her head, she heard, we'll give you $3,000 for this Jeep trade-in price. And I'm like, I didn't even like that deal in the first place. I'm like, well, that Jeep's worth a lot more. Didn't tell her. So what she ended up doing is on Facebook, her night, and this is like something fascinating to me too about the Jeeps, is Jeeps for some odd reason hold a lot of value. Hold a lot of value. And I didn't know this. Basically, her 98 Jeep 4.0 Sport with a hardened soft top books for about $5,100. And that's the lowest bottom of the rung, just beat up and whatever. That's what it books for. I'm like, so anyways, yeah. I come on back and I said, oh, that's great. You put your Jeep for sale. And see, before that, it was 2 months of, I want to sell my Jeep. I want to do this and all our stuff. And by the way, she's got a golden heart. She has a golden heart because she's trying to make money so we can have a wedding. So she decides to sell her Jeep. But before that, I've told her for 2 months, do you have the title and lien card for it? No, I'll find it. It's somewhere in storage. Well, if you want to sell your Jeep, go to storage, find the title and lien card. So I come home. She's like, well, I'm going to sell my Jeep. First thing that hits my mind, I was like, oh, this is what I asked her. So you found the title and lien card? Nope. It's somewhere in storage. I have someone coming over at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll be at work. Can you meet them? And I'm like, what? What? And mind you, and by the way, she put it on Facebook for $3,200, almost $2,000 under book. A Jeep Wrangler, which has a huge following. She had people coming from 2 to 3 hours away up here to see the Jeep and want to test drive it. So I have 25 fucking people calling me up about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning going like, I'm on my way to save it for me. Like, I'm not saving anything right now. I'm just waking up, dude. This is my day off. Like, what the hell? I was like, no, your wife put it on Facebook and she said to call you and you take care of it. I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, well, if you want to come on up here, that's cool, but I don't think she even has a title for it or anything. I think she has a title, but I don't think she knows where it's at. I mean, what are you doing? I was like, you don't have a title for it. I'm like, well, as far as I know, not. Let me look at the counter. Like, give me 2 or 3 minutes. He was like, 2 or 3 minutes? I'm like, I'm just waking up. You woke me up. Okay? Now they're starting to piss me off. I was like, I just woke up. And I just found about this about 3 hours ago. So give me a little bit of slack, buddy. I was like, geez, you sound like kind of a dick. I'm like, hey, tell you what, I'll call you at 3 o'clock in the morning and see how you feel about this shit. So he's like, well, I don't like your attitude. I'm turning around. I'm like, good. I'm going to go back to bed. So I went back to bed. Fucking 15 minutes later. Yep, I'm on my way. I'm like, son of a bitch. Really? He was like, yeah, I'm over here. She told me that you're having title problems and stuff. That's okay. I'm like, well, honestly, dude, give me about an hour. Well, I'm 15 minutes away. I'm like, well, go spend 45 minutes somewhere else. You know?
go circle the block a couple times. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like if you want to come over here to look at it, I mean, that's fine, but I'm not going to be out for this amount of time because, no, you're freaking calling way too early. No, I know it's a good deal, obviously, because that's how much you put it for. So you're probably going to wait anyways. So have a nice day. I'll call you when I'm out of the shower. So I get out of the shower. And by the way, when I'm in the shower, I just hear my phone fucking blowing up. I'm like, son of a fucking bitch. Really? I'm like, all right, fine. And get out of the shower. I'm like, I'm taking an extra 10 minutes. Fuck this shit. I really don't want to deal with it. Extra 10 minutes, do a little bit of shave and stretches, have a cigarette and other stuff. Coming outside. That shit, there's like fucking 10 people outside. I'm like, holy fuck, we have a serious fucking auction going on right now. And come outside, and they're like, you told me. I hear like 10 fucking times, like everyone's like, you don't chill on out. Let me at least have a cigarette. I had a cup of coffee in my hand.
You should have
said, my doctor.
You should have got a lawn chair with a donut, a cup of coffee, and a cigarette, and made them watch you smoke and drink and eat those at your leisure.
You know what I did is I actually had my Doctor Who mug. I sat down in the cooler outside, had my cigarette. I saw these people. I didn't give two shits. I'm like, no. If you guys come on over here and bother me with my one cup of coffee, my first cigarette in the morning, we're going to have words. I was really not in the fucking mood. Okay, so I talked to the first guy. Well, you got some frame rust under here, blah, blah, blah. That's just scaling. You can't even tell me the frame's wrong. No. Well, can you do better than $3,200? No. Dude, there's freaking literally 19 other people over here I can sell to right now that don't give a shit if there's a title available right now. No. $3,200. Take it, and we'll go deal with the title shit. Well, I got time for that, and I don't care if you drive 3 hours. I'm like, well, drive fucking 3 hours home. I don't fucking care. I really don't care. It's like, you're really telling the wrong person right now about bitching about. Because, I've been in retail for a long time where I have to come to the customer and be like, oh, I'm sensitive to this, that, blah, blah. I'm like, no, this was not this is a Friday morning, my day off. You're interrupting my coffee and my cigarette. Even somewhat my goddamn shower, which I took a half-ass shower. Not even really a shower. Actually, if I think about it right now, it's like, I didn't even take a shower. I just popped in my contacts. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, you Jeep fuckers, go the fuck away. Why don't you go drip as a furries or something, dude? Find a different hobby.
At that point, that gentleman needs to understand supply and the demand is high and the supply is low. Therefore, you have more power than he does. By a lot.
So basically, there's this one cool guy, and pretty much everyone saw my fucking attitude and they kind of left. They're like, I don't know if I want to deal with this guy. Well, there's one guy actually from around here, less than 45 minutes away. And he was like, I'll give you $3,200. We'll cut a check. Let's just do this. I'm like, okay. That's what I wanted to hear. What do you want to do? Well, I need a bill of sale. Let's go file for a duplicate title. Have her get a fax copy of the lien card from wherever it's at from. Get it faxed to my bank. And boom. I'm like, yeah. Okay. How long do you think it's going to take? Well, it could be like 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, damn it. 2 or 3 hours? I just want to sleep in. He goes like, yeah, well, this is the best way you can do it right now. And I'll write you a check for it right now. I'm like, all right, fine. I even looked at him too. I was like, we're in the car, going to Les's Bureau and stuff. I can pull the whole or best offer on you, right? And he was like, yeah, you could have. But for some other reason, I feel like you just don't want to deal with that. I'm like, yep, you're right. And someone owes me some Butterfinger ice cream today. So long story short, it got sold. We got a check. This is what you have to do if you don't have a title or lien card. You have to contact the bank or place that you have a lien on it or had a lien on it to release it. You talk to them. they'll fax it to whatever bank, whatever place that they want to. So they have proof of that. 2, you go file for a duplicate copy of the title and use that receipt as proof if you've done that you do have a title. It does have that information on it. So have that faxed to whatever credit union in case this guy, he was getting a loan for it. So he's able to write a check, and then they obviously put the money in his account, so it was taken care of. So that's how you handle that. I've never done it that way. Never will ever fucking do it that way ever fucking again. Unless I have some Butterfinger fucking ice cream to eat the whole fucking day. And maybe some Reese's peanut butter cups.
So basically, anybody out there, if you ever want to ask Tony to do any favor ever again, just show up with a Tupperware container filled with peanut butter ice cream and sprinkle some Reese's peanut butter cups on top of it. Make sure it's frozen, and also do not dip your balls in it. And he'll basically do whatever
I'm pretty
you
sure
want.
if you dip your balls in that, I will burn your car. I'll be like, oh, this looks like an accident has happened here. You have full coverage, bitches.
So if you do everything that I just told you, and also don't dip your balls in it, he'll pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I wish John Lockhart would have been there for me with this one, because I'm sure he could have taken care of that and tell me exactly what to do.
Well, that's too bad. He's still locked away.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna try and make a phone call to him, but I just didn't have the time.
Yeah, I think he's still in prison. I mean, he's still in his winery.
Oh. Is that what they're calling these days? But
that's what he
anyways,
calls it.
Dave, what about you? You got any good stories?
Well, not too much. I kind of got a little thing. Let's see here. A few months back, I met a gal online, as I do. I do online dating because it's nice and simple. But about a week or two after we started messaging each other, she was saying that she found out that she was being transferred to England.
Oh, well, that's
right.
That's not too bad.
That's kind of far away. It's kind of far away, though. Now, the way I thought about it is, now I'm in Japan, and when she said transferred, I know she had been other places for a couple weeks at a time, and I was like, so when you say transferred, what do you mean? She says 2 years, and I was like, okay, so you mean transferred, like really transferred. You're living there.
I'm moving it in place, and I won't be back here for 2 years.
Basically,
a total of
that's what that means.
365, like 600 and 720, 730 days.
Right. Wow. So she's gonna be gone for quite some time. So this relationship isn't gonna go too far. But I figured she's kind of cool, and I can at least hang out, and we can do whatever we'd like there, just kind of have some fun, and then she can get out whenever she'd like, and no big deal, no hard feelings. I know what I'm getting when I'm going, and also it's a good idea. I thought it'd be a good idea to at least check personality. What do I like about her? What do I not like about her? That way, the next gal, I can kind of learn from that. That's kind of how I like to go about it. So it was okay for a bit, and we saw each other every once in a while, every couple weeks or so, we'd see each other. And then it got to about this last week, because it's all really starting to feel real for her, I think, because she went in for getting stuff for her visa and all that. And when I was coming to Japan for the first time, when I was really planning to come here, it didn't really feel like it was going to happen until I got my visa. Once I got my visa and my plane ticket, it all kind of felt real. So when she was doing that, I was having some kind of nostalgia. Like, man, I remember when I was coming over to Japan, so I was kind of cheering her on.
I got a question for you. Do you have kind of one of them romance drama movies kind of set up here where you guys are like, oh, we actually do like each other a lot, but I gotta go to a different country, and maybe someday it'd be like Ryan Reynolds or whatever, and she's like whoever that other chick is in a romance movie, and maybe someday you guys will get back together, kind of
Well,
thing.
I,
I
I
mean,
highly doubt. I highly doubt that one.
Okay. I mean,
Like she's cool. She's cool, but I can tell that when she gets worried, she gets really worried. Like she's really high on the neuroticism scale, and
okay.
I mean, the average woman. Now I'm using statistics, everybody, so it's not every woman. So if you're not like this, I'm not talking about you. All right.
Good
I'm
disclaimer.
prefacing
Good disclaimer,
this right
Dave.
the fuck now. All right.
Dave is not discriminating against women right now and being
Right.
independent.
I am talking about if you took a sample of the population and somebody were high on neuroticism, you guessed whether they were male or female, you would be highly likely to guess female and be accurate. Okay, that's what statistics mean. Here, hang on.
Dave, in a sense.
What's up?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So she was really, really high on the neuroticism scale, and I know the average lady statistically is higher on neuroticism than a man. Makes sense because you have to take care of your family. You got to watch out for all the dangers. Makes perfect sense because guys are really low and we're kind of dumb and we will walk directly into a bandsaw unless somebody pulls us out of it if we see something shiny underneath it. So I get that, but she's like way on the other end of neuroticism. She's like, oh man, are you wasting money? Don't waste your time. It's okay. You're fine. Are you okay? Why are you staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning? What's going on? So that kind of thing, a lot. And she's not being mean. She's not being controlling, but it's just high on neuroticism, and that's not that high of neuroticism is too much for me. It's too exhausting.
So, I guess the definition neuroticism or whatever is like too high strung out, just over.
Neuroticism,
what is that?
Neuroticism basically means that you worry over certain things, like the bills being paid or doing going to work on time, taking care of your family. You worry a little bit easier than what you should, and
that's kind of normal. I kind of do too.
But everybody has a bit of neuroticism, like, oh man, I gotta get this work done. But they're not like, oh man, you're over here and you didn't say something exactly right. So what is that supposed to mean? Like
I get that too. Right. I get that.
I'd be sitting on her couch and she'd be like, having a good time. I said, yep, having a good time, watching a movie, just kind of relaxing. And in her mind, she's like, what am I thinking? And I told you I was having a good time. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I actually know where she's coming from because I maybe suffer from this. From what you described, is like I could have done this differently during the night, this differently during the night. Oh my gosh, why did I do that?
Well, that does happen, and everybody has a little bit of neuroticism in them because anybody who doesn't have any neuroticism is mentally unstable. Like if you never worried about anything, you're a sociopath.
Well, so, I don't have no neuroticism.
Would you like to get in my van?
Right. There's a balance there, and generally women are higher on it, and guys are a little bit lower on it, and there's of course some flexibility. But my point is, she's really high on the neuroticism side, higher than I would like. So and it's fine. She's not a bad person or anything. She's cool to hang out with. But last night she texted me. She's like, "Hey, so don't hate me," because she always figures I'm going to hate her for some reason. And I explained, I don't hate her at all, no matter what.
I think this is like a general input for, I guess, from my experience, is like, don't hate me for saying this because I'm going to tell you something that I don't think you're going to like, but you could like it. So
do I get to continue telling my story? Do you want to tell it, or should I just can I go?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So she says this a lot. She's like, "Oh, you're gonna hate me if I say this thing," and then it's usually like, and I go, "Sure, go ahead, ask your question." She goes like, "Do you want to come over and hang out?" That would be an example of an average. Okay, so that's what I mean high neuroticism. And I'm like, no, that's fine. Go ahead and ask me if you want to. And then last night she did it again. She's like, hey, I got a question, and I'm pretty sure you're going to hate me. And she means legitimately hate me, not like you're going to dislike the question. The way most people use hate in America and England is we don't use hate to mean actual, you're going to be furious at the question. We use it in America like you're going to not like it. So we use hate a little bit too much. But she means legitimately, you're going to absolutely loathe me if I ask this question. And I say, no, I won't hate you at all because I don't see the reason to hate somebody. I find that to be a waste of energy. So generally, I don't. And I go ahead, ask me the thing. And she asked me, would you rather see me and waste money or save money and not see me, essentially? Now that's a trap question right off the bat. Okay, anybody out there who hears that question, you got to reframe the question for your answer. So I go, okay, I don't think seeing her is a waste of money. So I say I would rather spend money and see you than save money and not see you, because that's true. Now she knows I don't make a lot of money, everybody. Newsflash, I am not a millionaire. I know it's a shocker. But, she's not too far away. It doesn't cost a lot of money to go see her at all. And then she started going off on this tear, and this is a red flag for everybody. Whenever you try to console somebody like that, like, yeah, I'd rather see you just fine, and we've hung out before, and then she keeps making an excuse as to why I'm wrong about my own opinion, about my own time and money. All right? So I would say, I'd rather go see you. She's like, oh, but, I want to enjoy my time in Japan that I have left. And I go, what do you mean by that? She's like, oh, go eat food at a restaurant and all that stuff. I was like, we had plans to go to a movie last Saturday, and she was the one who canceled that because she had to work. I didn't. Like, that was in that same ballpark. And when we met, we went out to eat. So it was like, it's not like we'd never gone out to eat or anything. She just was busy this last couple weeks. And she decided on her own, for me, that I shouldn't waste money and time to go see her. So she said she wanted to be done. I was like, are you really sure that's what you want? She said yes. And I said, well, fine. I guess that's all right. Like, I don't hate her. I don't have any negative emotion other than the fact that she tried to make decisions for me, which was ridiculous. About my own shit, like my own money and my own time. I can decide that for myself, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what I mean on high neuroticism. Like, she was worried about my shit, so she decided for me that I shouldn't spend any time or money or anything on things that I might like, such as seeing her. That's neuroticism, and that's a very high amount of it. What do you guys think?
Wow.
Thoughts? Tony?
Yo, what's up?
What are your thoughts
I think
on
you
the
cut out for a
situation?
second.
No, he was on mute.
No, I was there.
Okay. So what are your thoughts, Tony?
Women are a mystical kind of thing where, I'll tell you what firsthand. If you find the right one that eats your Reese's Peanut Buttercups and sells it cheap, and you stick with them, and true love is true love, and just keep looking for it. Women are a mystical kind of thing. They really are. It's the best way I can put it right now is find your best friend. If you can find your best friend
I'm
in
not
dating,
I'm not asking for advice for me. I know what I want to do. I'm
well,
asking
yeah,
what
I
do you
know,
think
but
about that situation that I just described?
well, what I'm saying, the situation described, she sounds fucking crazy, but
There
you know,
you got it. Like now,
Okay.
again, it's
if
slanted. She's not insane. She's just a worrier.
well,
So,
Yeah.
now that comes to insanity too, because the actual true definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome.
right. Now,
That is insanity.
okay.
So it's a matter of I'm pretty sure she has done the same thing over and over and over, acting the same way.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, I
it's
guess excessive worry would kind of fall under the insanity thing because you worry, you over worry about a problem every single time something comes up, but it never helps the problem.
Right.
It
right.
usually just makes it worse.
Right. And I'm very low
So
on
I
the
guess it would be a form of insanity.
it could be, but now where the difference was is she was high on neuroticism and I'm relatively low on neuroticism. Unless things are getting down to brass tacks, like, I don't have food to eat for the week and I don't have money. If I don't have money for food, then I start to worry. But beyond that, if I have
Yeah.
an apartment, if I have money for food and all that stuff, if my basic needs are met, I'm pretty much okay. I won't worry too much. And I've kind of tried my whole life to get a hold of my emotions for stuff because, as Mike just said, worrying doesn't generally help the situation. And if something gets really out of hand, what's it going to help if we're both worrying? It's just going to feed on itself. But my point
Yeah.
is, I know that that's not the type of person that I want to spend, 80 something years with. So, and I know it's not going to go for a very long time, but now I know. Like, she's cool. Like, when we were hanging out together, she was all right. And, texting back and forth when it first started, it's all right. But then she starts worrying too much, and then it gets a little bit out of hand. Like, okay, let's scale that one back a little bit. But I got a glimpse of whatever I like and whatever I don't like. That's the important part. So, let's see. And again, not saying she's bad. She would be a really good partner for someone who never worries. For someone who never thinks that there's a negative outcome for anything, she would be wonderful. She'd be like, "Hey, what the fuck you doing over there?" "Oh, I'm just about to stick this knife in the light socket." "Don't fucking do that." She'd be perfect for that guy.
Actually, I think that would probably just exasperate the situation because she would be worrying about her partner who never worries.
Right, but
It'd
then
just
if
be another thing for her to worry about.
But if she were with a partner who worried all the time, they would just worry each other to death.
I know she needs to learn how to deal with her worry problem before she gets in a relationship.
Definitely, but I mean, I think that one's just a part of her personality at that point.
You can learn to manage worry.
Oh, you can,
Like
definitely.
you can get it down to like a reasonable level.
I suppose you could.
I don't know if you could ever. You can't stop worrying about everything, but you can get it normal levels with kind of work on it.
Right, but I think Mike, you and I are probably we're probably on the lower end of the neuroticism scale between the two of us. So, like,
really?
I don't know.
So what you're saying, Dave, is
I'm
I'm high on neuroticism right now.
I never said you were high. I just said you weren't low.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
I mean,
Just checking.
now it makes me feel like you are higher on it because.
I know. Right now, I feel like
I've read a lot of stuff about like how to deal with anxiety and worry and stuff, and it's helped out a lot.
Right. Mine basically came from watching anime and stuff. Like, generally, the guy who won was the guy who didn't freak out all the time, and I was like, okay. Let's do that.
Oh, that's interesting, Dave. I just did a checkup here with well, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do a segue here. I just looked on the Chinese space station here.
Oh, all right. What's going on there?
Are you worried about it?
Well, it's one of them deals where now we're seeing a different path than they even said before.
So first of all, so
It's
for anybody who
pretty much,
doesn't, for anybody who doesn't know what's happening with the Chinese space station.
I'll fill you in. I'll give you a quick thing here. Tiangong 1 was launched in 2011. It was originally scheduled for a 5-year mission, so 2016. They extended to 2017 and even expanded out to 2018. And from a see here in the headline, at one point they were saying this thing's out of control. And finally China has admitted, yeah, it's kind of out of control a little bit. Some of the news reports too are the reason why they let everyone know is because it could actually potentially make landfall.
So now, when you say out of control, what does that mean exactly?
That means, from what I'm seeing here, in 2013 and 14, they actually lost communications with the actual space station.
So they don't know where it is at all.
Well, they know where it's at. They can see it. They can track it, but it's not communicating back. They can't land on it, and it's tumbling in space.
Lovely.
Tumbling out of control.
Sounds great. And how big is how big is the space station, do they say?
Roughly about the size of a bus.
Fucking awesome. So we got a bus. We got a sky bus. It's just kind of hanging out in space and might get into the atmosphere here before too long. And so where's it going to land? Where do you think?
Well,
who's the lucky
as of
contestant?
the last update, it has actually changed a little bit because this is the whole thing. It's like they have a guess when it might re-enter. They have a guess about 23 hours, and they say we might be off by 2 or 3 days. Like, really? I'm like, okay, well, it does actually change the whole thing. So basically, what they did is they put up for the whole parallel from, let's talk about Alaska, all from Alaska to Australia, and then do another line from the south tip of South America to pretty much down below, and Antarctica.
So
and that's
it's
where it might land.
Now let me get this straight. If I'm catching this correctly, I'm not the fastest guy, but I gotta make sure.
Okay.
This is either going to land in Alaska, South America, Australia, or somewhere in
it's
between.
A pretty. They pretty much made a broad spectrum where, I love how the sizes work here. It's like, well, on the bright side, 80% of that is water.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
They're saying is like, there's a 20% chance it might land on a land feature and crush somebody.
Yeah.
It comes down to, and I think Trump today made a message about the whole thing. It was like, we could have known about this about 5 years earlier, and I think all the other countries are going like, yeah. I mean, you're gonna pretty much, you have lost control of the space station. We really don't care what you're doing up there. So what? We don't care, but you're gonna have hunks of metal falling on the Earth.
Right. Well,
now
look at this. Look at this from China's perspective. If the United States had launched a satellite and lost control of it, and it were tumbling through space, what are the odds that they would have just been like, "Hey guys, our bad, but we lost that sucker 5 minutes in"? Like, there's no fucking way.
Well, no, they actually had 2 successful missions up there where astronauts, Chinese astronauts,
my point is, if we had lost control of our satellite, what are the chances that we would have told everybody at all?
Well, Dave's satellite is small. that stuff would burn up and be like a little piece of
Research
tinfoil.
station, whatever. If we had lost control of something in space, I'm guaranteeing that we wouldn't have told anybody. We'd have been like,
Well,
okay, how can we fucking fix this thing while it's still up there without telling anyone? We're trying to hide the broken lamp underneath the coffee table before Mom gets home.
Yeah,
well,
like the thing would be on the ground before, like, oh, we lost control of it.
So yeah,
well,
after it crashed.
The whole thing is Soyuz. What is that? Some Russian space station. They're like, yes, we have lost control of it, but we do have somewhat control of it, so we're going to put it here. And I found a lot of interesting things where there is actually a spot in the sea. It's I have to look it up here quick, but there's actually like a quote unquote satellite space station graveyard where you could actually like it's deep seas, but if you actually have the equipment to go there, you can actually pick up some cool stuff. I mean,
and like in satellites and stuff, they have gold and stuff in satellites because it's.
Well, I mean, not too much, but some. But I think the whole thing of like, hey, I have a space rock. This stuff was up in space. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it's a satellite. How big is a satellite compared to you? How much gold and just raw material could you get out of that sucker?
I would say, well, I don't know about that much. I would say a satellite these days would be about the size of, or even less than a car.
Right, but that's a car, and then there's a graveyard of them.
Well, yeah.
A lot of it would be burnt out.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Is like they're meant to land in. I think they call it Pico or something. It's a weird thing they have. It's kind of a space terminology kind of thing. Probably have to look it up. I could probably update it next week, but other stuff. But I learned a lot of interesting things looking out for this Chinese satellite, not satellite, but space station that's coming on down. And it's pretty much watching a video today where it's saying like the International Space Station has the same fate too. There's going to come to a point where it's not going to maintain orbit, and they're going to put it in this one spot in the sea and be like, here you go. So I think it'd be kind of interesting to find out for, I would say, treasure hunters. I mean, everyone has a link to space. I mean, it's amazing and great. Where you have a space right now that you know about, it's kind of pretty much public just because of this Chinese space station where they're supposed to land, but this one's not going to land there. But I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of people going out there and be like, you know, I want a chunk of space or a space station or whatever. But I think anyone that's got $1 billion idea would be shipping them out there and doing some dives down in the seas and, you know,
Yep, you just gotta find the schedule of when everything's gonna crash because you don't want to be out there on the day the new shipment, shipment comes in. Like, oh hey, what you got there, buddy? Oh, you got a big old salad. Oh fuck, here it comes.
Oh well, here's another thing too is that since we've had our podcast last, speaking of space, Elon Musk has actually put his Tesla into space.
That's right.
It's did you guys hear about that?
Oh yeah, he put that. Yeah. He put it in there. He put it up there for publicity standards, and it's a good one. Everybody knows about it now.
Well, he did it to prove that his company would be capable of launching satellites.
Right.
Yeah, satellites and a very heavy piece of machinery, which AKA a car is in space terms.
Right, but
very heavy.
But I mean, if he had just been like, "Oh, I got this piece of metal that weighs the same as a satellite, I'm going to launch that," it wouldn't have been as interesting. People latch onto, "Oh, he's launching a car into space? That travels, man."
No. Dave, he's launching Starman into space.
That's right. With his car.
That's the whole thing. That's the cool thing is, he was smart. He gave the dummy a name.
Yeah. He's a genius.
Yep.
The only thing he
gave the
could have done,
dummy a name, Starman.
The only thing better he could have done, now we probably wouldn't have been able to see it, is if he had launched it with high explosives to detonate once it got up there. Now on purpose, like, okay, it's up there for like, I don't know, it's up there for a week. Okay, everybody, tune into the Tesla channel. We're gonna blow this mother, and then just.
on the same thing too, Dave, it wasn't a complete success because it's supposed to have an elliptical orbit. This is the main thing about it. Is like he can launch a heavy rocket into space, orbit Mars, come back around Earth on an orbit.
Yep.
He kind of missed that. I think he missed it by 12 hours or whatever. So it's not a trajectory they wanted on. So they changed it to go around the sun and back to the Earth.
Okay.
But
Huh.
I think the main thing that he wanted to do is like saying, yes, I can launch an average car, which average car is like what, 3,000-4,000 pounds,
Something like that.
and a module for a space station is about half the weight. So
All
it's
right.
like, man, I can launch 2 of these suckers up to space, whatever. Actually, bring the boosters back on down,
Yep.
land, reuse them,
Yep.
and probably do it back in another 2 weeks.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, bro? I mean, that's pretty much what he's doing right now.
Yeah, that's pretty
Which-
cool.
I think this kind of just shows that private enterprises usually beat out government institutions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Mike, because it's the drive. It's not because Elon Musk is not about money. I mean, money helps him work. It's about someone told him he couldn't do this. And I know for a fact that you give someone enough encouragement and you tell a person they can't do it and they put their mind to it, you've just done mess with the wrong person.
Well,
They're
but
gonna
if
do
you're-
it.
Well, the thing is, if you're running a company like Elon is, you have to get results. Whereas
Right.
if you're running like NASA, you can make mistakes, and the government will give you a lot more leeway
That's right.
because they still have to fund a space program.
Yeah, like you're the only show in town, so they have to see you no matter what. Versus if there are several, then you have to compete for your dollar. Now, there's actually an interesting theory. Now, this is a slightly different topic, but it's still on the one market type thing. I heard an interesting idea a while ago for California, because California, so everybody knows, the economy in California is probably one of the worst in the United States. It is dog shit.
I would say California's economy is meant for one person that's living there and not for anyone else.
Pretty much. It's built for anybody who is super duper low or super duper high on the economic scale, anybody in the middle. Basically, they're having a mass exodus of everyone from California.
Dave,
I
would say even the low people on that scale are not considered, just the high people.
Well, the very, very low are, and I'm talking about the ones that are undocumented. Because they got places where they can go and they can get
you mean the homeless people?
Sure, those ones.
You mean
Anywho, let me finish my point, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
Holy shit.
All right.
So the theory I heard, this was an interesting one, is California is the only state with the weather like what it is. It's really nice all the time. It's like 70 or something. Don't worry about the brush fires, but it's like 70-ish. It's really nice weather all year round. And they basically have a monopoly on that type of weather. So they can, like, the only reason people do stay in California is because it's nice weather all the time. Like, they don't like paying giant taxes for shit that doesn't work. Like, I've heard really bad stories about, like, people wanting to add an addition onto their home and all the tape they have to go through just to put a small extra room or remove a tree or something. It's so fucking stupid. You own the land, move the tree if you want to, but nope, gotta have this guy come out to check that thing, and maybe it'll go through in 5 months. It's really bad. But the reason they still do that shit is because they have no other states to compete with. So what I heard was an interesting idea is to chop California up into like maybe 3 other states, like 3 small states, and so they would have to compete with each other for, they would all have the same weather, relatively speaking, other than Northern California. But, the 2 middle and lower California, they'd have relatively the same weather, but they'd have to compete for population at that point. So I think that'd be kind of interesting.
Huh.
Just to see what happens.
That would be interesting to watch.
Right. And that one would be a concrete, homegrown example as to which economic style works. It would be, what's better, the free market capitalist system or the one market system, which is what it's at now? Because if you want a real world example that's not America, Korea was split into two, North and South. The South went capitalist, and the North went communist. They went communist instantly. And then if you look at it, South Korea is, I think, like in the top 2 or 3 economic powers in the world with how small it is, but they just make money. And in North Korea, other than Kim Jong-un, are in the Stone Age. And they went capitalist, or the South went capitalist, the North went communist. So you can see which one's better, one market or multiple. Which one's better? Clearly the free market, the capitalist system.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that would be an interesting example. But anyway, let's get away from that because, I mean, the satellite, let's see. Do they know where, let's see, where do you guys think it'll land?
Well, I'm watching the maps right now, actually live right now. I saw it spread over United States for a little bit. And here's the whole thing. I feel like a weather forecaster, I'm not going to get it right. You might have snow in the middle of 7-degree weather, blah, blah, and crazy where it's going to go. But I'm actually, I'm going to go with, and the speed's ramping up too. So right now it's probably starting to bounce off the atmosphere because I'm actually reading the speed. Of course, what's saying is really fast. I mean, really fast. But
it doesn't even say a number; it just says real fast. It's coming, bitches.
I mean, it's really fast. I mean, it's a point where I would say Mach 20.
Oh shit!
And it's going faster and faster. So once it hits the atmosphere, what we're going to see here is it's going to slow down, obviously, because of friction. And that's the reason why you get all the big explosions of cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
As far as where it's going to land, like I said, the world's made of 80% of water. I mean, that's my best bet, but
oh yeah,
there's a chance.
You know where it would be funny? You know where it'd be funny for it to land? A little bit of
China.
No, China.
It'd be funny if it landed in China.
China would be funny. China would be funny.
That would actually be, in a sense, ironic.
Yeah, well, I was thinking something similar to that, actually. I think it'd be really funny if it landed in 120, in North Korea.
That would be, that would be funny, too, because
China backs North Korea.
That's actually on the scale, too. I mean, the path that I'm seeing right now is it's really having a weird decay orbit.
Yeah.
To the point where they want to bring it down to the Pico or whatever they call it, freaking graveyard for satellites. I can tell they're trying to do it, but yet they have no control of this. So they must have somewhat of some control over it, but it could be just too far gone.
Right.
Where nothing's going to, so right now, from what I'm seeing, it's making its way over England right now.
Okay.
And then it's gonna slump down the next 12 minutes down to Australia. So in a bearing, that's how fast it's actually traveling. I mean, it can make England to Australia in a matter of 12 minutes.
Oh shit!
In space.
And
so
it's the size of a bus.
Yeah, you're farther away from the Earth, and you're traveling that fast. I mean, that thing is cruising.
Yeah.
That thing is moving.
Yeah, and it's the size of it's a bus that's moving at Mach 20. So, there's no, you can't even feel, that's so fast you can't even fathom how quick it's going.
The numbers are up there. I think the numbers as far as miles per hour are uh, 12,000,
Right.
13,000,
So everybody
between
knows.
20 and 13,000, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so everybody knows to give you a scale. I went from America to Japan, and that's 5,000 miles. That took 12 hours in an airplane, going very quickly.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of cruising itself in a way.
Right.
Because cover 5 hours, 2 continents, or whatever. No.
Right.
Yeah, 2 continents.
But my point is, it's going. Let's see. It's going about what feels like 10 times the speed of the airplane that I was sitting on. So
actually, it'd be 40 to 50 times the speed of the airplane.
Bingo. You got it, man.
Yeah, in a rough general kind of thing. 40, 50 times faster than an airplane.
So.
And the thing's going to come on down and be like, hey, what's going on, neighbor?
Yeah, we've talked about in video games when you nuke somebody being God's fist.
Yeah.
This will basically be that.
Well, and this is what I've learned about watching YouTube videos and all that stuff, because I'm really fascinated about space and space travel and all that stuff. What they're predicting is, I guess this thing weighs about 80 kilotons. I don't know what the breakdown as far as measurements of pounds and all that stuff, but what they're saying, it's 80 kilotons, and basically what you're going to have later is through re-entry and all other stuff and burning up stuff, we'll have maybe, they're saying, maybe 2 to 20 kilotons of stuff coming down on Earth.
Okay.
And everyone's kind of thinking it's going to be one spot. It's like, no, it's going to be spread out over a whole continent.
Oh, yeah.
An area for 3 to 1,000 miles.
Yep.
So if you think about it, hey, it comes down across the United States, that's the whole United States from California to, North and South Carolina.
Yep.
Easily cover that area.
Yep.
The same thing for Africa, Brazil, Russia, well, maybe 3/4 of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Australia, but definitely pepper it all on up. So, and right now, by the way, update, it's over Australia right now.
Okay.
And I guess one of the things too is you're over in Japan, so
Yep.
let me look where you're at, Dave. So you might have actually, I would say, of all of us, you would have the best view of it between Mike and I.
All right. I'll get my catcher's mitt.
Well, I mean, you can actually no, you can actually see it burn up.
I'll try to catch some of it as it's coming in.
Right. I mean, I think, well, literally a day from, 24 hours from right now, you might be able to go outside. Well, it'll be daytime for you now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's daytime right now.
Yeah, so you might be able to see it because it's supposed to be, well, quote unquote, a spectacle to undertake.
Well, that's what they call it, huh? All right.
By the way, guys on the podcast here, if you want to buy a dog, his name's Ozzy. He's black and he barks a lot. He's a good guard dog when pipes are creaking.
All right.
This has been an announcement for anyone that wants to buy a dog.
That's right.
Dave,
Yo.
Mike, I didn't tell you about another thing that happens to us this weekend.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to save that for the next time because we're at an hour 14 minutes right now.
Oh wow!
Uncut.
Wow. Okay. So
all right.
I guess
hang on. I got a quick announcement. We're gonna do jaw jacking from now on. We're gonna do that in a separate video, so we can just kind of end her if we want to.
Okay.
All right.
So, how about
I gotta get up early tomorrow.
Yep. Let's do the moral of the day. So, Tony, what's your moral of the day?
Whenever Chinese people launch stuff into space, buy some metal umbrellas. You might need them.
That's actually a very good one. Mike, what do you got?
Always plan ahead.
Always plan ahead. Hey, it's
Yeah.
oldie. It's an oldie but a goodie. Oldie
Yeah,
but a goodie.
I wish Michael was around like 3 or 4 days ago to tell my wife that, but you know.
Hey, I think she understands how to plan ahead. She ate that ice cream when you weren't home.
Yeah.
She clearly
Yeah,
knows how to plan
I give
ahead.
that
She
to
just
her.
didn't prioritize. Anyway, my moral of the day. My moral of the day. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, worrying does not help anyone except for the psychiatrist you have to go see.
I like that.
Well,
I like that one.
well,
Good.
that one's free. All right. All right. Well, that's it for
I got-
us. Oh, go ahead.
Can I do one more?
Go for it.
Ever launch into space like you put at least a dog tracker on it? I mean, come on.
Say that again.
Put a dog tracker on
Say
it.
that one again without choking on your tongue.
Sorry. Never put into space unless you have an actual dog tracking system on it. I mean, something for your freaking dog.
That'll work.
Just
Imagine
a dog.
Imagine a world
Do
where
Wi-Fi
when you put a dog tracker on a satellite,
on your
you can
space
find
station
it wherever you want to go.
in the heavens above.
It wouldn't even be
You know what?
a speck on a blip in the middle of a freckle of an eye on God's wrinkled ass.
Hey, Dave, give me a second. Hey, Morgan, can you help me on this? Like, hello. I'm interested in a product right now. It's a satellite tracker. It's quite robust. It's meant for deep space. And if you ever lose a satellite or even a space station, we have a $10,000 recovery fee.
But in the time that it would take you to spend that $10,000, 10 billion galaxies would have been born and died, making our existence as meaningful as a speck of dust in a fireplace.
Well, Mr. Nils Grass Tyson, I really do disagree. Let me quantify the severity of the situation. There's a satellite out there with no dog tracker on it. I do beam aims and all that stuff. Really actually track any satellite in space, along with any puppies that need to be neutered and spaded.
But you need to realize that whilst that space station is tumbling to Earth, the damage it would do isn't even close to the amount of damage done by an explosive volcano just east of California that would span the globe and turn us into an ice age, making your satellite a complete piece of nothing.
To quantify the situation is quite simple. The Earth is made of 80% of water and 20% of land.
We know about 2% as much of the bottom of the ocean as we do the entire cosmos above. But fathom this pondry as I put it forth, that the ocean is part of the Earth, and the Earth is part of space. Therefore, we know as much about the ocean as we do space, because they are the same. Also,
well,
there's a motorcycle.
Tyson, I'll tell you this. I've worked beside Batman, and he's a very smart man. I've been in Batman movies, and he was a very generally good man, and we have technology over here saying, I'll tell you what, everyone has a quantifiable situation in the whole place and planet and all their stuff.
If you think Batman even compares to the likes of anyone, say, as interesting or wonderful as Captain America even, I think you might be walking down the wrong alley. Which is to say, you are completely full of shit.
I do believe you said Spectrum America.
Captain America, not Spectrum America. Who do you think I am? Morgan.
Yeah, man. All I can say right now is I'll leave it at this, and maybe we'll have a conversation some other day. I appreciate you, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I respect you. You seem like a lovely, lovely young man.
If I catch you
to
on my turf
quantify
again,
how much I like you, I'm going to say this. Bibbly bobbly boo, I do like you.
why, thank you, Mr. Freeman, but even though I do respect you as a colleague, let me just say, if I catch you on my turf again, the police won't even find your body. Anyway, moral of the day, everybody, is if Neil deGrasse Tyson and Morgan Freeman actually went head to head, I'm pretty sure the cosmos would just collapse.
No, I'm pretty sure Morgan Freeman would just totally school Neil there.
I
think it was some
so.
kickboxing and some slow motion Matrix stuff going on bullet time.
Well,
I'd love to see the battle.
Neil deGrasse Tyson was a legitimate, Greco-Roman style wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. He literally was a wrestler.
Well, I guess I don't know if we're broadcasting anymore, but y'all take care. The GOAT. It's been good to get back on the podcast, Dave.
Oh yeah, it's been good. All right. Feeling good with this podcast. We're only going to do this whenever we kind of feel like it, so I guess listen when you want to. All right, good night, everyone.